All right, it's the day before Thanksgiving, 2015, and I'm using a selfie stick. I never thought I would own a selfie stick, but I guess it's time, because today is the day that I start building the largest antenna I'll probably ever build. And it arrived in this box behind me, and it's on the tailgate of this Hummer. And as you can see, it's wider than the gate. And quite an interesting box there behind me. I'm gonna turn this camera around to see if I can't show you some of the parts to it. This is a lightning antenna, L-8. It's about 50 pounds and about 42, 43 feet long. It is an 8-element quad antenna, and it's gonna be quite a journey. Today we started. The antenna comes with everything really well marked. I was surprised. George at Lightning Antennas doesn't want you to make a mistake. As you can see, there's the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, literally in the order that you're going to put these boom pieces together. The plates are extremely thick. I think if we get down here, you can see that, gosh, that aluminum plate looks like about ½ an inch thick, and this one's probably 3/8. These are all the wired elements. They are color coded and copper, solid. And of course, I would imagine those 5 yellow ones are the directors. And I would imagine that this blue one, because it has 2 sections to it, is the horizontal vertical driven element, and maybe one of those is horizontal and one of those I don't know, but the red one is definitely going to be the reflective element. And there they are. They're all very nicely put together, color coded, and little tie wraps on them so they don't get twisted or bent. There is the looks like solid brass tuning stubs that are going to go in the antenna, the SO239s that will attach horizontal and vertical feed lines, and then there's those little plexiglass insulators, I would imagine, for other parts of the antenna. Maybe this is the driven element. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we're going to know. And of course, that's a support wire, and more screws and assembly hardware. Now, each of these fiberglass rods come pre-drilled for the right place, and as you can see, are solid. They're really nicely made, and I'm sure these are the spider portions of this that go through the mast, or boom, I mean. And it looks to me like everything's here in every way possible, as good as I could have asked for. Now I just got to get these wonderful instructions out and sit here and figure out what my first move is on an L-8 quad antenna, 42 feet of pure 11-meter bliss. Okay, here is the 6 pieces of boom that I have assembled today. And as you can see, they are all really well put together. You get down in here and look at how fine the machinery is on these guys. I mean, look at that tolerance. That's really pretty. Here's the shot from the other side. And of course, these are the ends that are going to slide into those ends. And thanks to George at Lightning Antennas, it really hasn't been a whole lot of a headache, because they're marked A, B, and then A, and then A, and then A, and then A. And he's very careful about telling you how to do things and where. So I'm very, very pleased with everything so far. I would like to share something with you that's a little bit of interest, and that's that when you're assembling this antenna, Let me see if I can hold this up in front of it. You can see the dots on the couplers, especially these decouplers. You want to look at where every one of those little dots is and do it exactly the way it says. And when you push it in, those holes, those big holes right there in the coupling, match up with those holes. And then you put the spider arms or the tubular aluminum through both pieces of big tube boom. Then after you put them through, you put these little nuts and bolts on them, and it holds the whole thing together really, really well. So there's all the boom sections, and now we start on these radials, and the first one will be the reflector, and it's the one in white right there in the middle of your camera. I'll be back with more of the Lightning L-8 construction and Ric Steel. By the way, from box opening, these are the L-8 instructions, and here we are down at page 7. And I want to show you what I've done. As you can see, I have numbered these boom sections 1, 2, the little number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the reason why is that there are 7 sections to the boom. But after you read the instructions, it says, at this point, all 8 elements are assembled and tensioned on the 7 boom sections. Now, what that means very simply is that if there's 8 elements and there are 7 boom sections, then one of these elements has to have, one of these boom sections has to have 2 sets of elements on it. And it does. You can see that little curve from a pin showing that this section is the same section. I had been looking at this and going, that's section 1, that little section there is 2, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? The thing is that right in the middle of that, you can see this little line. Let's see if I can show you exactly where it is with my pen. There it is. You can see this little line right here. And what that's doing is basically telling you that this piece is really one piece and a lot longer than that. So if you don't see that little squiggly line right there, you think that this is 2 boom pieces. It is not. This is the only section of the boom that has 2 elements in it. Obviously, the one back here is the reflector, and then we have the driven element, and then we have the first director. Those 3 pieces, those 3 elements are only on 2 pieces of boom, okay? And I think that you'll see the C coupling in the beginning of this tube and the D-type coupling in the end of the tube. So there are actually 3 pieces in this piece, but the 2 pieces on the ends are designed to fit into and underneath 1 and 3. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This driven element situation has driven me crazy, but I have figured it out. So I hope that helps you a little bit with this part of the construction on the L-8 quad. All right, here's the view of the L-8 from one end of the boom all the way down to the other. Here's kind of what the end wires look like. Now this is not straight and it's not finished at all. This is just kind of a viewpoint of how big this thing is. This is the first time it's been together, and I'm just kind of wanting you to see it. So maybe you can see some of the sections. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I've got it kind of tied to this bush right here so we can not worry about it falling over. And there you can see kind of how really gigantic this thing is. And there's the antenna. Now I go to work and do my very, very best to put the support suspension system in on top of it. All right, hey guys, it's Rick, and this is the antenna I've been working on. It's an 8-element cubical quad, and there's the connections I just built out of Lexan and plate. And I want you to see this. This is the first time I have run any kind of SWR on this, and this is with it all the way to the ground almost, like maybe elevated 2 feet. Now watch this. 1.09, 1.1. I haven't touched anything. I haven't adjusted anything. Here we go, guys. Looks like it's gonna work. Alright guys, here's the remote and the 2500 Traveler winch that I got from Tractor Supply. Normal car battery. And there it is. That's the RT Innovation Razor. And we're going to show you how this thing operates. Now if I wanted to set it down right there, I just bring it down. And it sits right on those brakes. Back up. That's how it works.